everybody. Susan Finch here with All Volunteer, All Heart from Binky Patrol. And my guest today is Stacy DeWitt. She is the executive director and the founder or co-founder, along with her husband, of James Storehouse. You're going to hear all about what they do and how you can help. You can't help but be inspired. You may want to grab a tissue. So today, what I'm hoping to do is to learn more about James Storehouse. I want to get a chapter connected with you too, because what we do is perfect for what you do.
Yeah, I love it.
That just seems ridiculous if we can't get you some blankets. So I need to get more chapters up in that area, not just
Yeah.
Carolyn, but others that can help the kids that you help.
Yes, that would be
And
wonderful. Great partnership.
including the young adults, because they're still little.
Yes. Yes.
It's a lot on them. So enough, enough about me. I want to hear your story. What we make are blankets. We give them away to kids and teens who are in need of a reminder that they matter, that they're worthy of love, that they're not invisible, and that somebody cares. So we do require all the blankets are made by somebody.
Hmm.
You can't just go to Amazon and buy a whole bunch of $4 blankets and say, here you go, here's a bunch of binkies. That's not it. It's
Yeah.
it's that time that somebody's going to put into it and the thought to pick out the fabric, whatever, or yarn or whatever type of blanket they make to be able to give to these kids.
Yes. And you can tell the difference between when something's handmade with love versus mass produced. And the
You
kids know.
can. So it's I'm by if you were here, I'd give you this.
I
This
would
one's
love
huge. It's
it.
so huge. And somebody, we get them that are made with, you never know what's going to find its way onto one of our blankets.
Yes.
So,
And you know what's interesting is, and I love that we're collaborating, is that the number one item, the number one comfort item that everyone asks for, from toddlers to teenagers, no matter the season, is a handmade blanket, a soft handmade blanket. No matter,
that's
even
huge.
if it's in August and it is 105 degrees out, they still want to be wrapped up in something comforting. And so that's why blankets are so important and the number one ask of all the kids we serve.
Wow, that's quite the testimonial that people need to be
Hmm.
making more blankets. We definitely
Yes.
need to make them. All right, so let's talk about this then. You on your site and in your stories, you've shared that you had a year of prayer and fasting that led you directly to foster care. What did that moment of clarity feel like? And part two of that is, how'd you go from that conviction to actually launching James Storehouse with your husband? This is in
Yes.
2014, so I know it's been a while, but I would love to hear this.
Yes. So the moment that we had a knowing that it was foster care, um, it felt so exciting to have an answer instead of just to be asking a question. Finally, we had an answer, and then it became an ache in my heart because I didn't know how or what to do next because I reached out to every organization that had any connection to foster care, and no one would return my phone call. No one would return an email. I mean, I know now that that had a purpose and helped me move forward, but in the moment, in those months, it was like an ache in my heart. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know that these kids need help. Why can't I get started in helping? But it was in those months of saying, where are you, God? I heard what you said. It's foster care. I want to do something about it. I want to help the kids. It was in those months of waiting and asking um, that we got a call one day. I got a call one day from a police officer to pick up a 3-year-old at the Palm Garden Hotel in Newbury Park. Dropped everything, drove over there, and underneath the carport was a police officer, and he handed me the 3-year-old, and she just had on a wet diaper and had an empty sippy cup, and those were all of her belongings.
Oh,
And I had a blanket in my back seat, and I wrapped her up in the blanket, and I put her in the car seat, and I brought her home. And after a while, I was like, I got to figure out how to change her diaper. I need to get some diapers. I need to get some clothes. I don't have a bed for her yet. And it was in receiving a child in crisis and realizing, hey, there are lots more people who will say yes to taking in a child in crisis if there is some support, because it's very expensive just to go out and buy all those items and you don't know how long that child will be with you. So then we went, okay, wait a minute. If we had like a warehouse, the community has so many nice things. What if people whose kids outgrow their clothes, outgrow their baby gear, outgrow whatever item it is, could donate it in gently used condition or new? Then we could just give it to those families saying yes to be able to bring them into loving homes, comfort them in their need. And it just started with that question: what can we do for our community?
Wow. That is being led.
Yeah, it was. But like I said, it was really achy for a while. Why can't I
Yeah.
figure this out? Why can't I get connected? But there was a bigger purpose in the wait.
Oh, I love that. But I can relate to that knowing when it's right and that's what you're supposed to be doing because nothing was going to get in my way.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it was going to take, time wise, money wise, this has to happen.
Yes.
I need to get this started and launch. I need to just keep saying yes to every opportunity and partner and door and just say trust and say yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so when we realized we needed a warehouse, we didn't have the money to go open a warehouse, and
Right.
where would we get a warehouse? So we brought the idea to our little church. My husband was the pastor at the time. And we said, hey, we have this strong conviction that we need to be helping in the foster care system. And this is the way we want to do it. Will you be in with us? Will you help us raise the money? Will you pray and be with us in this? And they said, absolutely. And it only took 9 months to be able to raise $100,000. That was our target goal, to be able to rent a place and pay the utilities for 2 years. And we did it in 9 months, which I think is kind of ironic, the amount of time. It was like we were birthing something new in our community to help the kids. And then we found a real estate broker who helped us find a location, and we had our grand opening, and we have so many wild stories of where we went from there. And in my mind the whole time was, this needs to be reproducible. What I do
Mm.
here, what we do here needs to be a simple blueprint so that other people around the country can do the same thing. And that
Yes.
is, in fact, what's happening today.
Oh my gosh, how many locations?
There are no, we are the only James Storehouse, but many people have come from many different states to take a tour, find out what we do, and then they go back and launch their own version of it with resources for the foster care community.
That is fantastic. So you're inspiring rather than facilitating.
Yes, yes, people can
Okay.
name it whatever they want. This is something to be given. I don't own it. Just go and do it.
Right. Well,
Love
and
people.
that's the thing that I've learned. For us, we have chapters and they have guidelines and they have to follow them because they're using our name. And
Yes.
so that becomes a management issue, you know, to
Mhm.
constantly be looking into all those things. And we probably don't look nearly as deeply as we should, but they also don't have their own bank accounts or anything. All the money comes to us here.
Oh, okay.
And then we earmark it for them because of that kind of nightmare too. And I've done that. Like in Florida, we can't have chapters. Why? Because the state of Florida taxes nonprofits like Binky Patrol based on all the income, which are our blankets that we get for the year for the whole country, and they wanted us to pay taxes on them.
Ridiculous.
It is, so we don't have chapters there. So all we do is say you can copy what we do. You just have to have a different name. But
Mhm.
I'm happy to share ideas with you and stuff. But nope, not doing it. It was just too expensive. Your
Yeah.
state is greedy.
Yes. And that makes sense because you are willing to share your model.
Happy to.
Hmm.
Happy to. I've shared our guidelines, our books, and everything with more nonprofits of different types that are just starting out. And it's helped them. And I mean, it's for the kids. If somebody wants
Yeah.
to help more kids, I don't care.
Yes, exactly. The more the merrier. And let me
Yes.
share our best practices. Let me
Yeah.
share with you. Don't make the mistakes we made. Just make it easier for you. Uh-huh.
It's one of the reasons I started this podcast was to help smaller nonprofits avoid mistakes, get ideas, share resources, and maybe even connect. So here we are, you and I are connecting finally. Why?
Mhm.
Because Carolyn got a job working for you because her heart said, I need to work with a nonprofit, like as my job. I have to do this because this is what I have the time to do it. I want to do it. I have the experience. And I
Yes.
was so excited for her when she had that resolve. I knew she would find the good match for her.
Yeah,
And
it's such a good match.
right, but we make blankets for kids in crisis. Many of those are foster kids.
Mm.
And you do the same. Cribs to college, it's on your site, and that's very true. And college kids need binkies. You know,
Yes.
you were talking about that one thing that they all want. It's a blanket.
Yes.
So when you got that 3-year-old, and a 3-year-old's different than a 12-year-old. I mean,
Hmm.
they've not lived with the trauma as much, the disruption as much. These older, as the kids get older, they're bringing more of that pain with them.
Yeah. And I have a great story about that.
I would like to hear that. That's what it's
Yeah.
getting to.
So, yeah, like a 3-year-old, and that is her story. But there was a young girl, a young teen, who was rescued from trafficking the night before. And she came in wearing what she was wearing the night before. So she came in with a social worker and she came in for resources. So she came in for clothing, hygiene, a bed, all the things. So, but one of our volunteers who's trained and trauma informed, recognized that she was feeling guarded, that she was feeling that girl was feeling shut down. So what she needed in that moment before she was ready to shop for the essential things she needed, underwear, shoes, before she was ready to collect all that, she needed that volunteer to take a blanket and wrap it around her and hold her and say, I'm right here. It's going to be okay. And she just held her. What would feel like maybe an awkward amount of time, but that girl needed to be held and wrapped up in a blanket and felt safe, almost like a maternal thing. She just needed to
Yes.
be held. And that volunteer just held on to her until she felt like it was a good fair amount of time and that girl felt safe. And then they took the blanket and folded it up for her to take home. And then the girl was ready to shop for the things she needed. So those blankets are so integral to what we do, just those
Wow.
comfort items. And if there's somebody intuitive and trained that has that blanket that can wrap someone up, it can change someone's experience of walking into freedom.
Oh my goodness. There was so much in that story.
It's
So
beautiful.
much beauty and simplicity. We
Hmm.
get so wrapped up in how complicated things are,
Hmm.
and it drills down to I need to feel safe before I will trust you, before I will take care of myself. The
Yes.
first thing I need to do to take care of myself is feel safe. And that's your job to make me feel safe because I don't feel safe.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And that leads into our event that Carolyn is planning for us called Beautiful You.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yes.
So,
So it
so
is.
listeners, if you don't realize, Carolyn Berndt, one of my best friends, as we know,
Mhm.
and one of our directors, works at James Storehouse, and events are her thing. That is her jam. She is so good at, especially fundraisers. Okay, Stacy, go. Now tell me.
Okay, so dovetailing off that story of that teen who needed to be wrapped up in a blanket and feel safe, we have numerous stories of similar situations where the teens in foster care, the teens who are rescued from trafficking, um, need to be cared for before they even start to care for themselves. And they have to care for themselves before they can even begin to dream of what a future could look like, a healthy future, healthy relationships. So it starts with that nurturing and care, saying, I see you. So about 12 years ago, we started an event called Beautiful You. And the purpose of the event is to provide healthy touch for the girls, because a lot of the times, if they're living in a group home and they've experienced something traumatic, even their staff is not allowed to hug them. And the girls crave physical affection. So that's just a basic human need. And a lot of times they have to exchange their bodies for physical affection, and they don't need to do that. They're, that's not healthy, but that's what they know. And so we designed different stations at Beautiful You, which I'll explain. So there's healthy touch and healthy relationship, and being able to see and notice and listen to the girls. So one of the stations is manicures. So the volunteers will be able to give just simple manicures or those cute, like
The Jamberry
nails
stickers and
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yes. So they're giving them a simple manicure. They're touching their hands. They're putting lotion on their hands. Of course, this is all with permission because the girls sit down and want a manicure. They pick out their polish. The volunteers get to like look in their eyes and say like, "How are you doing? How's your day going?" Just like opening up conversation and providing that appropriate touch and care. And then another station is the hair station. So those volunteers are doing, brushing their hair. They're doing curls or braids for them and spending time with them. That's another station for that touch. There are prom gowns and spring dresses where the volunteers help the girls pick out what they want. The girls go into the dressing room. Sometimes they'll need help zipping up, things like that, helping the girls get their shoes. So it's all of those stations where it's like the girls will welcome that healthy touch. And if they don't, that's okay, but we are there to provide that for them. And then there is another station. We do flash tattoos. So flash tattoos are temporary tattoos, but the girls really love them. They're like usually gold or sparkly. They love butterflies and feathers and freckles. And we'll help them apply them. And then if they want any special care, like prayer, or if they want to write down while they're at that station things that are worrying them, they can place that card into the worry jar. It's just another way to care for the girls and have appropriate touch with those tattoos. We also have permanent jewelry. So that's a cute, cool thing for the girls now. So there's a jewelry artist who the girls can select the jewelry that they want. It's usually a bracelet, and it's permanently on their wrist without a clasp. So it's something that's like sort of a permanent reminder of
Hmm.
their value, like beautiful jewelry. Obviously, they can cut it off, but there's no clasp, so it'll stay on as long as they want. And we also have other stations like art. There isn't necessarily touch for art, but that's a way if they're feeling anxious to be able to kind of settle down and just relax. Some of them are incredibly creative, and so it gives them an outlet there. And then another area with Healthy Touch is we bring in therapy puppies. So there are therapy dogs, and some of them have their puppies. And so sometimes the girls just need to see a sweet animal and hold an animal to regulate and feel safe. So that's another way. Some of the girls will get their hair done and they'll be holding a dog on their lap, or they'll be working, getting the jewelry, and they'll have a little dog on their lap. So we try to provide different modalities of safe touch and care at all the stations.
So you mentioned girls, 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 girls.
Mhm.
Are boys victims of these same things? Or do
They
boys
are.
need this? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, there are, and I don't know the reason why, but there are less boys that are rescued from trafficking. It's mostly the females. But there are boys that are trafficked, absolutely. And we care for them in a different way. We
Right.
have mentoring relationships that often help, and we have a car program that's also available for the girls. But there's ways that relationships can build through that. My husband loves to take the boys fishing, and so they seem to be more active as a way as than the girls. So they're like more
Right.
activities for the guys than the girls. But we tend to, at this point in our development at James Storehouse, there are more girls in need
Hmm.
than there are guys, but we serve both.
So you need blankets definitely for both
Oh yeah,
because those teen boys
absolutely.
need it just as much.
Absolutely.
Yep. Oh, I love that. But oh, I wish I could be down there for that day. It just
I know.
sounds magical.
You would be very welcome. If something opens up, come on over.
What's the date of it?
March 14.
This month?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Short notice, but maybe next year. That
Oh
would
yeah, I
be a
would love to
great
have you.
way. Oh, I might have to plan on that. I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love to help with the art station.
Yes. And bring your blankets because we don't
Oh
have
gosh, we
blankets that
will.
read it for
We're
you.
gonna get you connected with some blankets.
Okay.
Carolyn and I need to work on that because your girls, your kids that you serve need to have blankets handy.
Oh yeah. And that would be amazing because they go home with a goodie bag of makeup and
Yep,
nail polish and all those things.
yep.
But if they could go home with a blanket as well, like wrapped up in with a pretty bow or something, they would absolutely love it. And it's still
That,
chilly in March. We usually hold it in March. So that
mhm.
would be perfect.
I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about foster care. Most people understand foster care like in a general way.
Mhm.
But what's the reality that doesn't make it onto the flyer or the social post? What's the part of this work that keeps you up at night?
Hmm. Yes. Part of the work that keeps me up at night is trauma affects the brain. And so a youth who's experienced neglect or violence or abuse, their decision-making processes oftentimes are going to be different than someone who hasn't experienced that. So they oftentimes choose to go back into the chaos because chaos is their norm. So, for example, if someone were to come, for an example, come to our housing program and live in our peaceful home, sometimes for a while that's dysregulating to them because it's peaceful, it's clean, but it makes them feel anxious because they're used to the chaos. So they could go AWOL, they could leave and go back in and find like their traffickers or maybe possibly like bad influential people in their life because they're used to that and then eventually they come back. So I hate that their brain is wired this way. Healing can happen, but they have to want that and to go through the process of that, which can happen. We've seen beautiful healing happen through trauma therapy and through some of our programs. So it's possible, but they have to want it. So that's frustrating. And along the lines with that is I noticed that their identity often can be stolen.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of thinking as a young person, like, I have all this promise in life, I am a good person, I can do anything I set my mind to, instead they think like, or they could think like, I'm nobody, I'm nothing, I do things wrong, all this is my fault. Um, I deserve to be abused. I deserve to be hit. If I just try a little harder, maybe they won't hurt me next time. Um, Maybe I'll just, try these drugs just for one time so that I can just feel a little bit better. So their identity, they don't think of themselves as a treasure, as good. And so I think at night, how can we teach these kids their value to restore their identity so that
Hmm.
they know, like, I deserve better than this. I I don't want to be treated like this. I don't deserve this. I'm leaving this situation and I deserve this over here. And so that's always in my mind. How can we teach them who they truly are, that they're valuable, important, loved, worthy of good things? Some of the kids have never celebrated their birthday in their entire life, and they're 22 years old, and they don't know they're worthy of celebration.
Right.
Like, they're valuable. So we'll throw a birthday party for them, and it'll be the first time in their life where they've ever been celebrated. And there's so much healing and celebration. So we do a
Yes.
lot of celebrating around here.
I'm glad you covered all of that because when you were talking about they're going AWOL, old habits, I think what I've learned about trauma is that is a lot of it is not feeling worthy
Yes.
of the improvements, of the life, of the trust, of all of it,
Hmm.
because they have been shot down so many times to say that they are not worthy, that they are a piece of poop and
Yes.
and never will deserve anything and nobody will ever want them. And they've had so much of that negative talk their entire life. To hear it doesn't
Hmm.
feel real. And it
Yes.
must be so difficult for them. They probably want to accept it, but they do not know how because everything that they have experienced supports the other side.
Yes. Exactly. And what could we do to help them know that they're
Right.
valuable and loved? That's exactly right.
I know for me as a teen, teens go through their things. And when I went to a youth group, we went on retreats. And, this is in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. And it was, you're in that realm. It was search. It was part of that search group. And anyway, it was all about affirmations and things.
Hmm.
And one of the activities that we did as soon as we got there as a group of like 40 of us was to decorate Chinese food boxes with our name and our stuff, and we put them on the windowsill. And throughout the weekend, we had little post-it notes and notes pads everywhere and pens. People would write you little palankas, they called them, little love notes, and leave them in the box. So at the end of the weekend, on before we went home, we could go find a quiet spot and read all these things that people said about us and to us.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
it was absolutely beautiful. And they also ahead of time had our parents and key adults write letters to us.
Very cool.
So I had other parents write to me, include and mine would write to others and they'd write to me. And and I will say my divorce, that's one of the things that I lost, those letters. It was a letter from my dad, from my mom, from some parents, and I have not been able to find them. They might still be buried somewhere in my stuff. I don't know. Uh, Tom and I have looked and looked, and we just can't find them. Because those letters, out of everything I have in my house, are the thing that I would want to save in a fire. Everything else could be replaced,
Hmm.
but not those that I would reread on those low days, that I would reconnect. And the power of words, written words in somebody's hand, to let them have that in their pocket. I noticed your smile today and it made me smile.
Hmm.
You're a gift, to my day. Those types of things, those words, guarantee you the kids you serve have not had that.
Yes.
They have never had people do that for them.
Yes.
If
You're
they're not
100%.
getting they're not getting birthday cards and they're definitely not getting any handwritten letters.
Yes.
And even little notes that they can leave for each other because that's how they also learn to heal others.
Yes, that's right.
And that's what we learned to do and how important those were. So
Yeah.
it's just something, it just made me think of your group.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
An easy activity, artsy, lets them decorate and fidget, lets them write notes. Maybe they've connected with three people. Leave a note for them. And then
Yeah.
all your volunteers can leave a note for each of the attendees.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, we can
So
easily incorporate that.
it just, I don't know, it's stuff that can be, if you know who's coming, you can do it ahead of time and have them ready to go,
Hmm.
and then just distribute them all. And that's what
Yeah.
they used to do. They would collect all the letters and put them all in our piles and then put them in our boxes.
Yes, I love that. And you know what? We have on Wednesday nights, we have a group of youth that have recently been rescued from trafficking. They come to James Storehouse, and we have our therapists, trainees, and our clinical supervisor come, and we do a milieu group. And tonight, the activity, believe it or not, is masks. And so
Oh,
everybody's
you're
going
going to
to
read that.
get,
Are you going to read that thing about masks?
no, but is it a book?
No, it's almost like a poem.
Oh, I'll look it up.
Don't, yeah, it's called The Mask I Wear.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it,
Awesome.
they also read that to us at one of those retreats, and that was life
Oh.
changing.
Okay, I will check into that. Okay, let me describe it to you because it sounds
Okay.
like it would go perfectly with this activity. So each of them we got at a Hobby Lobby. It's a plain white mask, and they will draw on the outside what it feels like people think of them. And then on the inside, it's going to be who they really are. And so it would go perfectly with that. I had to look that up.
It's a very, very powerful thing to read and
Very cool.
to say out
Yeah, that
loud.
would be interesting. And also to have other people um, do the art inside the mask about who they really are.
Right. And I had in leadership in eighth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade leadership, we sat around these big conference tables and we all had to draw our head and leave it empty.
Mm.
And then we had to pass it around and people had to contribute to our head
Oh,
some positive thought about us.
very cool.
And so it just went, some just drew pictures, some didn't want to do the words, some drew a happy face, but by the time you had 25 people doing it, your head was full. And then you could fill in with whatever you wanted to.
That's really practical. Yes.
It just,
Yeah. I can even see like even outlining a body or having a body. Because some of the youth, they hate themselves because of what has happened to themselves. It's not their fault,
right.
but they they hate them. It's so sad. But to be able to write onto a body and a head the good things about their bodies, the good things about their minds and their hearts and their souls. I love that idea.
That could be a lot of fun. Art art gets into different places when when you're doing markers and crayons and pens and pencils and all that. It's a different thing that it touches in your
Mhm.
brain, and it reconnects things as well. It lets you
I
connect
agree.
to different memories. When you combine that with music in the
Mhm.
room, peaceful music, healing music, whether it's, piano, acoustic piano, no words has always been an easy one, but it just kind of brings everything down a level.
Very good. Yes.
So, anyway, that's my 2 cents. That's how much I want to be at your event.
Love it. Love it.
Wow, we have flown through this time together. I know you are busy. We all have stuff we've going. So let's get that call to action for somebody listening right now that wants to do something, not just feel something. What's the single best first step to get involved with James Storehouse?
A very easy thing to do is to go on our website. It's jamesstorehouse.org. And there are projects to do. You could do them at home. There are projects to do here, volunteer opportunities. If someone doesn't have the time to jump in and help, but maybe they have the funds, They can help out with something small like food for our food pantry or a pack of socks and underwear for a youth who has absolutely nothing coming into care. There's something for everybody.
That, or they could make a blanket and send it right to you.
100% yes.
The address
Yeah.
is on the website, folks. All different ways to get involved. It's like we say all the time, volunteering 1 hour a month can change lives.
Oh,
Start
yeah.
with 1 hour. Do it with a friend. There's 2 hours. You guys
Yes.
can transform the world starting with that little bit of time and letting that love and that kindness spread.
Yes, or if someone feels a little timid, they don't want to just jump in, they can contact us on the website and come take a tour. We have 3 buildings. They can see a little of all that we do, and then they can say, like, I kind of like this, or I'm more drawn to this. So they can serve and help with whatever area that they enjoy.
That's what makes it easy. We will always find something for all of you to do. Just need your time and your heart.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Stacy. Carolyn knew we'd hit it off, and she was so excited that we were finally going to get to visit.
Yes. Thank
She
you,
says,
Susan.
you will love her. I said, I bet I will if you do.
You said the same thing. She's right.